Susadai, and welcome to the Khmerican podcast. To help support our work, please visit Cambo Fresh Clothing, which has created a Khmer-inspired line of urban fashion. To show your Cambodian American pride and support Khmerican.com, go to cambofresh.com and use code Khmerican at checkout. Hello, my name is Will Cannock. I'm a journalist and author of Home on the Mekong, and I'm here with three people involved with the Southeast Asian Intercollegiate Summit that just ended a few days ago. Can everyone go around and introduce yourself and say how you're connected with SEAICS? Why don't you start, Chan?
Hi everybody, my name is Chan, and I'm a student at Senior Set, and I'm connected with our Asian ICS through SAS, which I'm an active participant of. It stands for Southeast Asian Student Coalition at UC Berkeley. And a lot of the people there are heavily involved with CICS as well. So they were the ones that invited me, and they asked UC Merced to go along as well. So a lot of us were there.
Hi, my name is Remini Hong. I am a UC Davis alumnus. I am currently working at World Trust Educational Services in Oakland. Okay, I am connected to CICS. I've been a participant. I've gone every year since its inception, and basically I've been there all 5 years in any role that you can possibly think of. Yeah.
All right. And you, Stephanie?
Hi everyone, my name is Stephanie Pungongsa, and I am a senior at UC San Diego. I am currently the co-chair of the Southeast Asian Collective at UCSD with Linda Liu, and I participated in CICS last year, and this year CICS was hosted at UCSD, and I had the beautiful opportunity of being co-coordinator logistics.
Okay. Well, this question is for Remini, since you've been a part of it for so long. How did Southeast Asian Intercollegiate Summit get started?
It got started in 2008. Monica Tamarath was basically the mastermind behind this. She came. This is from what I know of the story. She came back from another summit, or it might have been a conference that was hosted by SEAICS, the Southeast Asian Resource Action Center. And basically she saw this as a space that she can, she wanted a space for Southeast Asians to be able to come together and not just talk about the issues, but also take action or plan to take action around issues affecting Southeast Asians.
All right. And for Chan or Stephanie, how many years have you been involved? I guess, Stephanie, why don't you go first?
Within CICS?
Uh-huh.
Just 2 years. Just last year was my first time going, and it inspired me and the rest of UCSD to try to take it on and plan it this year at our campus. So just 2 years.
Okay, and Chan?
This was actually my first time participating at the ICS, so I was completely new to everything. I mean, I've heard of it last year because it took place at UC Merced last year, and I'm a student there, but I actually didn't attend. So this was my first time attending it at UCSD, and it's completely new.
Right. What kind of events or educational opportunities does this event offer?
Well, there's different tracks, and by tracks I mean there's topics where everybody focuses on, and there's like K-12 education, higher education, violence, and then the students are put into these tracks and they collaborate with each other, one another, and they work toward action plans to create projects for the community, the Southeast Asian community. And there's also like open mic night where everybody shares their talents like if you do spoken words or you sing or play an instrument. And dinner as well, you eat wonderful Southeast Asian food.
Right. Remini, what would you say it offers that's worthwhile for people to attend?
I think that for people who are really invested in the community, it's a great space, especially if you're organizing or trying to organize around Southeast Asian issues. It's a great space to be, just because you are making so many new connections and you're networking with a whole bunch of other people who are also interested in doing the same type of work as you're doing. And breaking up into the different issue tracks kind of help with that, because then like you get to meet other people who are interested in doing specifically that same type of work. We have plenary sessions, which are basically panelists that also get to speak about what they're currently doing in their communities, or how, I guess, what changes are taking place in terms of as it pertains to the different issue tracks, basically. You get to hear from, I guess, professionals that are doing the work, and you get to hear from student organizers. So it's a really great space to be to try to organize across age groups and across the different ethnic Southeast Asian ethnic groups.
Okay, Stephanie, since you were involved in the coordination, kind of the background of the event, what perspective does that offer you?
Well, based on last year, I got the opportunity to enjoy the conference more. I'm not saying I didn't enjoy the conference, but I enjoyed a different side. So if you're a participant, I guess you get to go to all the discussion tracks and you just enjoy open mic night and things like that, and you meet a lot of people and you connect and things like that. But I guess for me, I would say that I got closer, not to, not the other Southeast Asian orgs and participants, but mainly to mine, because I was working with them throughout the whole entire day, working with the volunteers, working with the other chairs, planning this, planning that, and it just brought us closer. And so I guess that's a different perspective.
All right, Remini, you talked about some of the planning issues or planning sessions that allowed people to address certain issues. What issues do you think stand out for Southeast Asians?
Okay, I think the easiest way for me to talk about this is to basically bring up the different tracks again. So, we have, over the years, for the past 3 years, I should say, we've been doing it. This is our 5th year, and for the past 3 years, we basically narrowed it down to 6 issue groups. So there's K through 12 education, and well, I'm gonna let you two answer some of this too, but so I'm not going to go through all of them.
That's okay. We can just hit some of the highlights.
Okay. K through 12 education. I actually used to do work around recruitment and retention. So there is a lack of resources for a lot of Southeast Asian students, just because we're pretty new, and I know it's been probably about 30 or 30 some years that Southeast Asian refugees first started coming here, but it's still a pretty new group. There isn't like too much information out there for, I guess, parents of these students to actually understand what their children are supposed to be learning in school. There is like there's cultural things that teachers might not understand about the students, and therefore the students might not get the help that they need, especially if there's a language barrier. I actually used to facilitate for the immigration track as well, and there are two main issues that we've been talking about the past couple of years. One of them being undocumented students, and the other being that the issue with deportation in the Cambodian and Vietnamese communities. Did y'all want to tackle the other four?
Stephanie, what else stood out for you as far as the tracks?
Well, last year I did K through 12, so there's not going to be that much variety in this conversation, I guess. But what stood out for me is that I guess I'm just interested in education because I feel like Remini said, there's not that many resources for Southeast Asians. We are relatively new. Many people don't realize that a lot of us are first generation students, and a lot of times I feel like Southeast Asians are clumped into the huge Asian category, and we just get lost into that, even though we have a different history. So education really was hit home for me. It's really important to me, and the thing that would that caught my eye about what our K through 12 track discuss is the importance of data. So in order for us to have these resources that we really want, we need to be able to prove, I guess, to like administrators and government and things like that, that we are not in higher education. There's not that many of us in higher education. There's not that many of us graduating. And so we seem to always be forgotten, but we need the data to back that up. And I saw that as a trend throughout a lot of the tracks this year, that we need to do research. So that's basically it.
Okay. And Chan, anything that stood out for you?
Yeah, and I was actually in the K through 12 education this year, so there's not really much I can say. Stephanie kind of hit points right there, and we also focused on database this year as well, which was our skit on and our action plan is on. But there's another part where we also focused on, which was the lack of mentors and advisors, because we felt that in the K through 12 education, many Southeast Asian students lack knowledge about higher education, and just because our parents, recently immigrated to the United States of America, they have never been to or do not know much about the American institutions here, so they're not able to provide that kind of knowledge or information for their young kids. And we were talking about our experiences where, for me, I actually didn't know too much about colleges or the UCs and different rankings. I actually thought college was all the same, like even despite whether you go to a community college or not. And growing up, I learned that it's completely different. There's other opportunities, there's more opportunities, but then these Southeast Asian students, these young ones in the K-12 education, do not know about that. So we didn't focus on that because we wanted to choose data-based, but that's also a big issue with the whole fact that there's a lack of mentors and quality teachers to help students, the Southeast Asian students, to know about the higher education and the access to it. So, that's pretty much all I know about since I participated only this year.
Okay, so it sounds like this is a big draw for people interested in K through 12 education.
Well, I brought that up, but it was just kind of random. I couldn't touch on the other ones. The other tracks that we have is higher education, which was kind of talked about a little bit. It's hard enough to get past high school, but once you get to college, there's even less resources because of that whole, idea of clumping Southeast Asians into this larger Asian category. Therefore, there might not be enough resources there for us, and there is a really huge dropout rate once you do get to college. And so that is one of the things that's talked about when talking about higher education. There is a LGBTIQ LGBTQ track that talks about, well, you know, like it's taboo for a lot of people to basically talk about LGBTIQ issues, relationships, anything like that. And for Southeast Asians, some groups, a lot of groups, it's just really hard to. It provides a safe. I guess ICS will provide a safe space to be able to talk about that, about how we would go about, you know, maybe talking about it with our parents, or what else we can do to make these issues more visible to others. We have a violence track, and you know, because there's a high dropout rate in high school and college. In the teen years, you know, we're concerned about people getting, or youth getting involved in maybe street violence or anything like that. We talk about domestic violence within families, or we have talked about it. Am I missing something? Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to add, Stephanie or Chan?
I'm sorry?
Does Stephanie or Chan want to jump in and add other tracks?
Health track.
Health track. Yeah. The health track focused mainly on mental health awareness and how we need to take care of ourselves. I guess it's not really known that a lot of just, I guess, Asian Americans in general suffer through mental health illnesses, and I think I don't want to just be throwing out statistics out there that may be wrong or anything, but I just know that female Asians do have a high suicidal rate that's not very well known, and I guess it's just brought up that within these Asian American and Southeast Asian communities, mental health isn't a big deal. I mean, unless if you're almost dying, I guess that's when you want to go to the hospital, but there's not that much resource or information available about taking care of yourself mentally and emotionally. So I guess that was mainly discussed in the health track.
And it varies from year to year, depending on what the group basically wants to bring up and talk about. But that's definitely one of the things that did come up or has come up.
Okay. Well, Chan and Stephanie are both still students. Are you interested in becoming teachers? Is that why the K through 12 education track holds appeal?
Well, I actually, because on the application it asked what track you were interested in, and since I've never participated in ICS before, I was kind of wondering what a track was. So I just randomly put whatever is fine. So they had put me in K-12, which is kind of nice for me because I actually am interested in becoming a teacher, especially since I've gotten opportunities to mentor high school students and working as a peer mentor here on campus at UC Merced as well. So it actually really opened my eyes towards different issues among Southeast Asian community in the K-12 education. So that was actually a really good thing for me to be put into that track. So
you're saying that it was supportive. It encouraged you to continue pursuing teaching as a career?
Yes, it has. It's just being open to the issues that were discussed in that track. It definitely has really pushed me and piqued my interest in becoming a teacher even more. So that, because I actually want to become a pediatrician. I enjoy working with the youth, and I really do want to help the youth in every way possible.
Okay, Stephanie, how has this influenced your future?
The education track, or SEAICS in general, or
yeah, SEAICS in general.
Well, I can't really explain, but it has deeply. It's I don't know. There's just something about like what I said before. There's not that many Southeast Asians in general that are retained, in higher education. So, I always get really excited when I meet like a C person, and it's just even more exciting when you're in this huge summit with like 100 of them. And not only that they're interested and passionate, and they're driven to help their community, like based on these 6 different tracks. And it's just really exciting just to be around that community, because I don't see or feel that community bonds on a regular basis. And I just think it's important for yourself to feel like you're part of one, and also to give back to one. So that's why, I always really enjoy SEAICS. Just getting to know different people and being around people who might have the same history, the same experiences, and the same interests. That's really important to me. And I've just learned so much. I mean, even learning how to share personal things, and learning how to network. And you learn so much just within having even conversations with people around you, because these are like student leaders. They organize on their campuses, and they're like young activists, young professionals as well. They have so much advice to give you, and they're so willing and eager to help you. It's not something you experience on a daily basis, and it's so nice that they understand your background as well. So I was really having a great time.
Right. It sounds like you've all had very positive experiences with SEAICS. What do you want to see from the organization or the event in the future? What do you see in the future? What would you like to, is there anything you want to change, or anything you want to add? Do you want to focus more on one issue? Remini, if you want to go first.
Sure. It would be great to expand coast to coast one day, hopefully, so that we can get, we're not just here in California. We have large communities of other Southeast Asian groups in places like New Orleans or Lowell or Seattle or Chicago. It would be really great to actually be able to, get there at some point, and see a whole bunch more people, so that we can talk about this on a grander scale, like how these issues are affecting their own local communities. I really like the model and the setup of how ICS is. I'm not sure if those tracks may change sometime in the future. I think they cover pretty well so far what we are interested in, what we would like to tackle. I don't see it necessarily, us narrowing it down to just one group, because we all have different focuses. But in the end, it is to, create a voice, and it is to create a voice for Southeast Asian Americans. So it would be great to include, all these other voices that we haven't heard so much from everywhere else. But eventually, I'm sure we'll get there.
Okay. Stephanie, after only 2 years, it's not a lot of experience, but what would you like to see from this in the future?
Well, I agree with Remini. Like, I want it to expand, but I also really want it to be sustained. I think that's also an issue. I guess these days it's kind of hard to sustain Southeast Asian organizations, especially at UCSD, and especially since like a lot of programs are being cut, and some, like UCSD does not have an Asian American Studies department, and we really want to get that down. But also talking to other students, like maybe their programs may be cut, maybe their Asian American Studies might get cut, maybe their ethnic studies might be cut. And I feel like if students are knowledgeable and they learn from these programs, they're more likely to be more active within helping their community and be more active within summits like SEAICS. So I think it's really important for us to continue having these programs so that they're sustained. And SEAICS is really good because students learn more about not only the issues, but also about themselves. I mean, for me, it's always life-changing. Every year, my life change over and over again. And they just really need the safe space to connect with others. It's just really important to feel like you have that community and that you have the power to shape that community. And that's really what SEAICS does. It sort of empowers these students. It shows them that they can do things, not only for themselves, but for their community. And I feel like we make a difference every year. Like, afterward, people are always really happy, really inspired. They're like, I'm going to start a Southeast Asian org on my campus. We're going to fight to keep Asian American studies on our campus. So I just really think that this needs to be sustained so that we can continue to change lives. Yeah.
All right. Well, if people want to get involved and they want to contribute, how can they find out more information about SEAICS?
We have a Facebook.
Yeah.
Facebook is the answer as always.
Yeah.
Soon a website. We're working on that.
Or they can even contact one of us. I mean, we definitely have a connection to it, and I'm pretty sure we'll be active participants for next year as well.
Yeah.
So I'm actually being a K-12 education chair for next year, so, definitely be working on the inside. So they have resources, us, and Facebook, and they can even just Google it, even. They can find it on Google, most definitely.
All right. Well, if people want to follow you or contact you, what's the best way? Chan, can you go first?
You can definitely contact me on Facebook. I'm always on Facebook. I respond immediately. And, just befriend me and I will add you. Just make sure, you're not there to, do anything else. But I'm willing to answer questions about Southeast Asian Intercollegiate Summit, ICS, or SAS, or other keywords as well. Or, you can just contact my email, which is chanhusong@yahoo.com. So that's pretty simple. It's my first name. And,
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, I'm always responding to emails and notifications and whatnot.
All right. Remini, how can people contact or follow you?
I am also on Facebook. I'm probably the only Remini ever anywhere. So the way you spell my name so that you can search for me is RHUMMANEE. I am on Instagram. That's probably the only place that anybody can follow me. I'm at Rum510. That's RHUM510. You can also find me on, the other various networking sites. I'm on, what's the new Google one?
Google Plus?
Yes, Google Plus. I haven't really used it too much, but let's see how many people actually add me on there. Maybe I will. And then you can reach me by email, remini@gmail.com. I'm available for booking if you need a spoken word artist.
Okay.
Yes.
And
really
Stephanie?
Well, I'm on Facebook, Google Plus. I'm on LinkedIn. You can email me, Stephanie with a PH, Honbongsa, PHONVONGSA @gmail.com. And we also have a SEAICS Gmail, so sea.ics@gmail.com.
Okay. All right. And if you want to follow me, my Twitter handle is Will Koenig, WILLKOENIG. All right. I want to thank all of you for taking time out to talk to me. Is there anything else anyone wants to add? Any final words?
Thank you, Khmerican.
Yes, thank you so much for
Thank
having
you
us
so
on
much.
here.
And you will.
Yes.
That's all for this podcast. For the latest news about what is happening in the Cambodian American community, go to Khmerican.com. Theme music courtesy of Bo Chan Hui. For more information, go to bochanmusic.com.
Namon